John, who is Charlie Lee? Welcome.
What is up? Where do I look?
You look
Here,
right
there,
at me.
right at you.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of cameras.
What is up, Mitch?
What's up, brother?
My man. Good looking dude.
Thank you, brother.
You know what? I like to do interviews with people that are pretty, decent looking because it makes the.
It's average. It's not
average.
bad to look at. Yeah. You can, there's many beautiful people around. You can also focus on them too.
So I don't know if you heard any of my talks today, but February I changed my name to Satoshi Light's Bodyguard on Twitter.
Satoshi Light's Bodyguard.
Yeah, because Charlie Lee's Twitter handle is Satoshi Light. So I changed my name to Satoshi Light's Bodyguard because that was my goal.
Okay.
7 months later, I became his physical bodyguard. So now my Twitter handle has been changed again for my next goal. So now it's JohnKim, Chief Evangelist to the world. Is it my identity? No. Is it a reality? No. But it is the name that I picked to keep myself accountable so that I'll keep pushing and pushing and pushing until I hit that goal.
Goal setting.
Goal setting.
Law of affirmations.
Well, law of speak it out and let everybody know so that if you fail, everybody will keep you accountable.
Full accountability.
That's right, baby.
But at the same time, you're keeping yourself accountable. How do you do it? What motivates you?
Well, I believe real passion is married to obsession. Fake passion is not married to obsession, and it's a trend. It's a fad.
Okay.
So for me, if you see anyone great, for example, like Conor McGregor or a Mayweather, somebody who actually went from nothing to greatness, there's one thing in common. Their passion was married to obsession. They were so focused in what they believed. So another thing about passion for me is like I never chose passion in my life.
Okay.
It chose me.
How so?
Like you'll know like in your life when something overtakes you, something just grips you. And I always say you don't choose passion chooses you, and it takes you where you can't go without it. So whenever you're fully engulfed in passion, you can't stop. Even if you're tired, even if you're hurting, it's like this weird energy that pulls you and you just can't stop. And I've had 3 or 4 of those in my life. Okay. And you can't conjure it up. You don't wake up the next morning and say, you know what, I'm going to have passion about this. No, it just brews and brews until it just becomes something that you can't control, right? So whenever I talk to people, they say, yeah, I work 14 hours a day. No, you don't. Because I'll tell you what, I have a 1,000-hour rule, right? If you truly put in 1,000 hours in any craft, you'll become good at it. And the reason I can say that is because when I was boxing, my boxing coach told me, I want you to hit that heavy bag 1 month, only your left jab. And I told my coach, I said, Coach, you don't understand. My whole life, I can never use my left hand. What makes you think that I'm going to be happy hitting a heavy bag with my left hand?
For a month.
So 1 month later, my jab became my best punch. And what he did in a month, he totally proved me wrong in what I believed for 30 years. And it was so powerful for me, right? Because my mind already gave up on the fact that I could ever use my left, right? And this coach, in 1 month, proved me that my mind is always lying to me because it loves comfort. Right? So right now in my life, I gravitate towards what's uncomfortable. I gravitate towards what is difficult because I'm 41 now. Looking back in my life, the biggest growth happened when I hit rock bottom or when I hit failure, when I hit this resistance, you know? So, I mean, so my hashtag on Twitter is called #IgniteTheFireLTC.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because I meet people like you. I meet other people. And I look them in the eyes, right? And I break bread with them. And what happens is that everybody has a little fire inside of them. You just need to meet somebody that can bring that out of them, right? So the reason that I went out for 30 days, slept in my car, slept in roach motels, and I did all that I'm making a blueprint on how to truly push for adoption, even if you don't have any knowledge. So basically, when I'm done with my blueprint, it's a blueprint of what excuses do you have? Or you want to tell me you can't do it because of this and this? Well, I have a blueprint that tells you that there's no excuses available on this blueprint. You know what I mean? So my biggest saying is the world is not wanting more information, they're wanting a demonstration. Because we're living in an information society where information has become decentralized, right? And everybody else can learn whatever they want on the internet. Well, as to the degree that the information became so much available, to the degree that demonstration went away. So we're living in a world where, yes, we're all connected on the internet, right? But the handful of people that's going to leave a mark in this world are going to be the ones that embrace that technology, but go even harder because they know how to push harder because there's so much information. For example, when I started my LED lighting company, I didn't know anything about electric. I didn't know anything about LED. My first job, I got on YouTube and I learned. And then I did my first job watching YouTube.
Wow.
So what am I saying? Like, look, one time I did this big job. I subbed it out.
Sure.
It was this crazy LED lighting that it has a chip and it has these patterns, right? And it broke. So they called me and I'm there. And the subs won't answer my phone call. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. The power supply, the remote, all this stuff. So I sit there with no one to call, no one to rely on, and I love it when I'm in that position. Let me tell you why. I looked at it for 1 hour like this, and I figured it out. What am I saying? In desperation, when there's no option, when there's no one to call, there's a part of your brain that wakes up.
Fight or flight.
No, it's not even fight or flight. Like fight or flight is in a physical situation, right? Like you're the fear thing, right? But I'm talking about this part of the brain that only activates when you have zero option and when you're desperate.
Back against the wall.
Yeah, and it opens up, and you're sitting there thinking you're brilliant because you had no idea what to do 30 minutes ago, but because you forced yourself to look at it and find it, your brain went into this weird mode.
Yeah.
And I actually fixed everything better than the person who installed it.
Who would have came in and fixed it?
Yeah. So that's when I learned that we have this untapped resource up here, that there's something in our brain that only activates in times of desperation and like no one to rely on.
Does it always have to get to that point? For you to get to the same realization that you can solve and fix this problem. Because we're computer engineers by trade. We deal through that shit like, I would say I feel like that every week where I'm just like, wow, I could have done this myself.
Yeah.
And I've learned this now. Do you have to get on that point of desperation every single time?
For some people, yeah. It won't activate unless you get there. So that's why I sold my house, I sold my business, and I left. And I didn't have any option to come back. That's how I knew that I would stay on this road, because a human gravitate towards what the road to the least resistance and comfort, right? Wow. So whenever you leave a little bit of option left, a human being, when it's hard, will always take that option. But when you remove that, you get to that next level of like desperation. You have to do this. There's a big difference between I got to get this done and if I don't get this done, I'm done.
It's been a fucking pleasure, bro. That was crazy.
Yeah.